raising the bar. I think you just did with the introduction. Good evening. It's a pleasure for me to be here today for this Surviving Beyond Cancer celebration, to not only share my journey with cancer, but also to send out a message for hope. A message that can be summed up by borrowing 3 lines from a song that I try to believe, follow, and live by. And it simply says, "Don't let hope become a memory. Ignite the fire within you. Sometimes darkness can show you the light." It was the spring of 2016, and I had been a personal trainer for 26 years. So like everybody that I trained, I too was looking to shape up a little bit more for summer. I began working with another trainer and nutritionist for the month of May just to see how much progress I could make and how in shape I could get in my mid-50s. It was during this training that I developed a hacky little cough in early June, which was more of an annoyance than anything, clearing my throat or letting out a couple weak coughs while speaking. I visited my physician assistant in mid-June, who recommended an antibiotic and allergy medicine and a return appointment for 2 weeks. When I returned with the same symptoms in early July, she ordered a chest and sinus x-ray. When she returned to the room with a worried look on her face and asked if I had ever had a chest x-ray before, I could sense something just wasn't right. After review by Dr. Miller, my primary doctor, he informed me that there was something showing on my left lung that appeared as a shadow and referred me immediately to a pulmonary doctor. Dr. Imad diagnosed fluid in my left lung and set up an appointment to have my lung drained. As it turned out, I had a full 2 liters of fluid drained from my left lung. The fluid was sent for analysis, and on July 16th, Dr. Imad hesitantly informed me that the fluid contained cancer cells, and I had lung cancer. To say I was stunned would be an understatement. Bronchitis, maybe. Pneumonia, possibly. But lung cancer? No way. I literally asked him if he was sure the chart he was holding was mine. While I do have a family history of cancer, 2 sisters, as well as my mother and father, I was healthy, I didn't smoke, and I didn't work in any harmful environments. While cancer may have been expected at some point in my life, lung cancer now definitely wasn't. I barely remember walking to the waiting room where my wife was sitting, and I casually said, "Okay, let's go." It wasn't until we got in the car that she asked, "Well, what is it?" And for the first time I said, "It's lung cancer." It's true. If you have lungs, you can get lung cancer. Follow-up scans on July 27th revealed that the cancer was stage 4 and had spread to both lungs as well as my leg, my hip, my shoulder, stomach, and back. When I first met Dr. Gauri Radkar, my life-saving oncologist, she told me I would have this for the rest of my life. She says it doesn't go away, but we will work together to try to contain it and to keep it from developing further. She said we will first try plan A. And if that doesn't work, we'll try plan B, C, D, we keep trying. When she told me not to Google anything about lung cancer, she was already too late, because I had already Googled lung cancer and was initially devastated by the statistics of the 9-month survival rate of only 50%, and the 5-year survival rate much worse at only 4%. I also learned the word terminal in the diagnosis. It was then that I was determined to be that 4%, and if necessary, I would be a 1%. It was during that first visit that I said to her, "Dr. Radkar, you know I'm going to beat this, so come along, because we're going to have a heck of a ride. We're going to make history." I don't know if she fully believed me on that day, but almost 3 years later, I have a pretty good idea that she does now. She was concerned with my thigh, as the cancer in this large and important bone was the most prevalent and could cause it to weaken and possibly break. I thought to myself, great, I did squats in the gym yesterday, and today they tell me that they fear that my leg could be weak and break. So I started 2 weeks of daily radiation, while my fluid was further analyzed for any genetic mutations before I began any chemo treatments. By the way, if you've ever had radiation on your upper thigh or anywhere in that neighborhood, if you have any feelings of shyness or inhibitions, you quickly lose them. Thankfully, I never had those feelings. They make small markings all around a specific radiation target area, and they put Scotch tape over the markings so that they stay visible for the 2 weeks, presenting a precise target for that daily radiation beam. Each day, you come in, strip to your underwear, and get your markings lined up on the table so that they have a precise target area. The technicians all made me feel so comfortable, which is fantastic, because first of all, you're scared to death. And second of all, you're pretty much just standing there in your underwear with markings drawn all over your leg. They professionally hold a towel in front of you while you strip down. But I remember after day 2 saying, you don't need to hold that towel. You've seen and marked it all. Let's just do this. On the day that I rang the bell signaling the completion of my 2 weeks of radiation, further tests did confirm a genetic mutation, and I was going to start on Tarceva, a first-line daily chemo treatment. That was my plan A. As if that wasn't enough, I was now scheduled to begin monthly bone strengthening infusions, since the cancer had spread to my bones and I wanted to keep my bones as strong as possible. But my string of luck did not stop there. During the radiation treatments, I had the transmission go out on my car, and my daughter Caitlin called in the afternoon on my last day of treatment from 5 hours away, asking if someone could meet her for an appointment because that little spot that she had in her ear, that turned out to be melanoma. My son Mike just happened to come home for a visit from California the night before, so my wife and I joined him in his rental car for a road trip to Blacksburg. Caitlin saw an oncologist and plastic surgeon, and the melanoma was removed a few weeks later. And although half of her ear was removed, she's doing fine, and she's proven to be a real fighter. No, literally. She's joined a boxing gym in Blacksburg and just loves punching things just like she did the cancer. Now I again faced my battle, multiple appointments and procedures, plus I had also been a teacher for 35 years, and it was now time to go back for a new school year. And remember, my transmission died. I didn't have a car. My 2 sons, Mike and Mitchell, came to me and said that they wanted to buy me a new car. They had said they had always talked about it and wanted to do that for me someday, and now was pretty much someday. As I started the new school year with my daily chemo pill Tarceva, I was going downhill fast. I had no appetite, no energy, no drive at all. I continued training clients, but if I worked 2 sessions back to back, I would often lay down on the gym floor after they left to gather enough energy to get out to my car and make the 10-minute drive home. By November, I had lost an additional 25 pounds. This was weight that now I didn't need to lose. And when I got scans on election night, they came back worse. The cancer was not only growing, but it was spreading. By Thanksgiving, I was very lethargic with zero affect or energy, and my wife and sons gathered on Thanksgiving evening as I slept exhausted in bed as usual, discussing my rapid decline and worrying that I may not make it until Christmas. My wife suggested that I retire from the gym. She said it was too much for me, but I felt the gym would only help me, working out, trying to stay strong. That would keep me going. I did retire, by the way, in July 2017. From teaching, I still have my gym. Dr. Radkar ordered a biopsy from my chest, and upon further analysis, it was determined that I carried the specific T790M mutation. A chemo drug was just approved a few months earlier as a second-line treatment, and I began Tagrisso on December 5th, 2016. Tagrisso became my plan B. I hadn't personally worked out in weeks. I barely made it through a whole school day, followed by a couple training sessions, and I took several days or partial days off when I could from school. I never let anybody see how much I struggled or what I couldn't do or how weak I was. Nobody outside of my family knew just how sick I actually was. The next day, December 6th, I felt like trying a couple exercises. Nothing much, just a few exercises to see how I felt. The following day, I not only felt better, I completed a full workout, my first in a while. While still having good days and bad, I was starting to feel better. Of course, by now, you probably realize it's always something. I had to have an EKG and an echocardiogram for my heart, since the Tagrisso can affect the heart and the working of the heart valves. I went for my tests, and after waiting for what was supposed to be the quick results in the scan room, the technician came in after I waited quite a while and asked me to have a seat in the waiting room as I would be more comfortable. Okay, I'm thinking, I don't think this is good. Then after another wait, the technician returned and handed me his cell phone and said, "The cardiologist wants to speak with you." Okay, now I know this is not a good sign. It turns out that I had fluid around my heart, which fortunately has disappeared as mysteriously as it appeared by my follow-up EKG and echocardiogram, and has not returned since with all of my follow-up appointments. So by now you're probably saying to yourself, so when does this guy start winning? Well, I don't remember the exact date, but it was a Saturday, and I was feeling tired and beaten. My mind wanted to get off the couch, but my body didn't, and I stayed on the couch all day. I remember thinking as I finally went to bed, well, I got beat today, but tomorrow is another day, a new day, and when I get up in the morning, I'm going to say, today is my day. I'm going to win it. One day at a time, I can go to bed at night and say, tomorrow, I'm going to win the day. And I developed that mindset that if the odds are 1,000,000 to 1, I was going to be that one. Win the day and make history. I felt it isn't enough to just say it. You have to live it, and you have to believe it. So I got a new license plate for that new car, Win Day. And I also got some wristbands made, wristbands that I wear to this day on my wrist. On one side it says, win the day, and on the other side it says, make history. Yes, I'm living it every day. By Christmas, I was not only still kicking, but I was kicking butt. We went home to Pittsburgh for Christmas, and my 4 older sisters adopted the names of each of the 4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And we had a Ninja Turtle themed Christmas, complete with Ninja Turtle shirts, because my sisters were going to fight this mutation right along with me. My son Mitchell also unveiled his new tattoo that he got on his ribs in honor of me, with the cancer ribbon and the following saying, with pain comes strength, with hope comes a cure. Yes, I have an awesome support family. I need to take a second to mention that through this whole ordeal, my hero has been my wife, Debbie. She went to every appointment with me and still does. She kept everything straight. She looked out for me. She supported me and never once doubted me. Well, after I started the Tagrisso, at least. She encouraged me to rest. She made me special meals and snacks to get my weight back, and she took care of everything. Even when I didn't listen, she told me anyway. She pushed me when I needed a push, and she pulled me when I needed pulled along. Through it all, she stood right beside me. This was a battle that we were going to win together. I started a playlist of songs that inspired me. Picked me up, made me feel like fighting, like winning. To this day, I still play that playlist, and I add to it when I can, when I hear a new song. If I need a little pick-me-up, I know I can always go to that playlist. You could say it's a varied playlist because it ranges in artists from the Supremes, Sarah Bareilles, and Travis Tritt, to Disturbed, Godsmack, and probably the most played, Five Finger Death Punch. And believe me, everything in between. My scans in February of 2017 showed a reduction of the cancer and noted in quotes an excellent response to therapy. By August of 2017, a little over 1 year into this journey, my scan showed a further reduction And while my scan results held steady for the next 12 months, in August of 2018, I learned a brand new term, NED, no evidence of disease. I didn't know what it meant when I first read it, but it sure sounded a whole lot better than terminal. All scans since then have come back with my new favorite term, NED. Now I was winning. As I felt better and stronger, and my weight, energy, and drive came back, it was now time for me to start a new chapter in my life. It was time for me to give back. I had a story to tell. I had hope to give. I needed to educate, inspire, and motivate wherever I could. I needed to help other people to win the day. I joined a couple cancer groups on social media, and a few sites shared my stories with others. In November of 2017, I was asked to speak before the Race for Breath at the Virginia Beach oceanfront. I received so much positive feedback from this brief 3-minute speech that I knew I was making a difference, and I needed to do more. I spoke at the groundbreaking for Sentara at the new cancer center being built in Norfolk, and shortly thereafter at a petition meeting to successfully secure a PET scan machine for that new center. Each event was a new opportunity to spread the word that I set out to do, and do what I wanted to do: encourage, motivate, educate, and inspire. I was back to being me, back to feeling normal again, but I knew now that being normal, that just was no longer acceptable. I decided to do more for the Race for Breath in November of 2018, and I started my own team, Team Winning the Day. What else would I call it, right? I set my goal at $250, hoping to get $5 donation here, $10 donation there, anything that would help with lung cancer research. As the walk became closer, and to my amazement, the donations started to roll in, I had to raise that goal to $500, and then $1,000, and finally I raised the goal to $2,500. When the walk day arrived, Team Winning the Day raised almost $5,000. Okay, I can make a difference. No stopping now. Several staff from Sentara and Virginia Oncology not only joined my team, but also donated and walked with me on the day of the event. I was extremely humbled. As I read more and more about beating cancer, I knew I needed to make more lifestyle changes. Yes, I would continue to take Tagrisso and work out and exercise. After all, every doctor I met along this journey told me, "You're in incredible shape. Keep doing what you're doing." One doctor even said to me, "You are the picture of health," to which I quickly replied, "Yeah, just don't take an x-ray." But I knew I needed to do more. I needed to give myself every opportunity to win. So I adopted a plant-based diet, and I cut all sugar and processed foods out of my daily meals. I was going to fight from the inside out. I was going to give my body as many clean nutrients as I could. If this cancer thinks I would just roll over, it better think again, because remember, cancer, I told you I'm going to win. I can honestly say that I feel great and may very well be in the best physical shape of my life at 59 years old. Since I am a personal trainer with firsthand cancer experience, I decided to take another step forward, and I became certified earlier this year as a cancer exercise specialist through the Cancer Exercise Training Institute. I'm not done helping others yet. I volunteered for 2 sessions with Livestrong, which not only confirmed my enjoyment of helping others, but the feedback I received from the participants who were encouraged by my story and me helping them told me that yes, I'm on the right path here. I've been working with Sentara Virginia Beach in order to initiate an exercise and yoga program for cancer survivors to help them feel better and see the value of a mind and body wellness program through relaxation and exercise to help deal with all that cancer throws at us. I'm excited to grow this new endeavor and see just how many fellow cancer warriors that we can help to win a few more days. It's an honor for me to be asked to tell my story here this evening. I was happy to share my journey. However, I must give credit to my team, my doctors, oncology nurses, children, Ninja Turtle sisters, extended family and friends, and my number one supporter, my wife, Debbie. This fight is not a battle that's won by an individual. It's most definitely a team effort. And God blessed me with the greatest team on earth. I thank them all for taking this ride with me. Hopefully, I've raised awareness to the fact that you only need to have lungs to get lung cancer. I didn't ask for it or do anything to encourage it, but I am sure I'm going to fight it, and I'm going to win. Hopefully, I can encourage others to go forward and shine their light, even in darkness, and get involved, make a difference, and realize that each day when you wake up, you have a choice to make. Do you let life control you, or do you control life? The choice is always yours. When you wake up tomorrow, do what I do. First of all, thank God for giving you another one. And then choose to win the day. Who knows? You might just educate or motivate someone, or even inspire someone else. You just never know. You might even make history. Thank you.